The 9070 series was recently released by AMD, and today I'm gonna have a look at the PowerColor Red Devil 9070 XT and see how it performs in games at 1440p and 4K, including side-by-side path tracing runs. I will repeat it against the 7900 XTX and the best performing 16GB GPU, the RTX 5080. Now, if you don't want to stick around for the whole video, here's my quick recommendation. I'd lean toward the RX 9070 XT if the RTX 5070 Ti is priced over 150 euros or USD. If the price difference is between 100 and 150, I'd probably consider the 5070 Ti, but if it's less, the 5070 Ti is the clear winner. Stick around to see the full results, but if you are heading out early, let me know in the comments. What's the minimum price difference that would make you choose the 9070 XT over the 5070 Ti? First off, I love the sleek black aesthetics of the PowerColor Red Devil. It's a big card, as you can see next to the Sapphire Pulse RX 7900 XTX. Like most high-end AAB boards, this one features dual BIOS, though I only tested the OC one. This GPU comes with a mild overclock over the reference ports that you should not pay attention to, and a bit more headroom when it comes to power. The GPU features RGB and the logo is a nice touch when viewed from above. In firmware, at stock settings the GPU would reach around 330 watts, and when overclocked with the 10% power increase stands at around 360 watts. The best part? The unit is completely silent and no coil whine, which is why I skipped the noise tests. The GPU clock during these test runs was a bit all over the place, with swings of hundreds of megahertz. The same behavior was observed on the 7900 XTX. The side-by-side runs were done at 1440p and 4K. I'll only be showing the 1440p settings since those were identical to the 4K ones. Counter-Strike 2 and Marvel's Rivals were tested only at 1440p, as most competitive gamers are not using 4K. Remember, the 9070 XT isn't meant to replace the 7900 XTX. AMD isn't targeting the high-end market with this one.
Show some respect.
Ah, here they are now.
a lump of bread today.
That griffin's a real scourge.
The 9070 XT stood its ground in the following games: Alan Wake 2, where it had a small lead over the other GPUs. The same could be observed in Monster Hunter Wilds, while in Cyberpunk 2077, Kingdom Come: Deliverance 2, Silent Hill 2, Marvel Spider-Man 2, Black Myth Wukong, and Final Fantasy XVI, it was trading blows with AMD's previous flagship. The 9070 XT underperforms in Marvel Rivals and Counter-Strike 2, two games that are quite popular these days. As a result, the 7900 XTX outperformed the 9070 XT by about 10% on average, while the RTX 5080 had 27.8 advantage, though the 5080 also costs around 60% more at the time of the recording. At 4K, without considering those two competitive titles, the gap between the 7900 XTX and the 9070 XT isn't huge. In fact, the 9070 XT was neck and neck with the 7900 XTX in Alan Wake 2, Cyberpunk 2077, Kingdom Come: Deliverance 2, Silent Hill 2, Marvel's Spider-Man 2, Black Myth Wukong, Final Fantasy XVI, and Witcher 3. The 9070 XT was around 5% behind the 7900 XTX, while it trailed the RTX 5080 by over 29%. To reduce the video length, I will show only the path tracing side-by-side runs at 1440p and 4K. Be aware that at 4K I used upscaling, as opposed to 1440p where I didn't.
You gotta earn your eddies. Go hungry a couple days a month. You'll save up enough. Heard it's healthy too, like detoxes.
Yeah, maybe you are in sugar shock. Excuse you.
There are a few games where I forgot to test some GPUs, and the overall results are considering this scenario. What can be observed is that the 9070 XT performs better than the 7900 XTX when ray tracing is in the mix. In those path tracing games, the 5080 has a huge performance advantage, which is normal, as all those games are built around NVIDIA GPUs. Marvel's Spider-Man 2 is a mess right now, with huge spikes as it can be seen from the 1% low values. Looking at the overall results, the 5080 has an above 15% performance advantage when ray tracing is in the mix, but it would have been greater if Age of Mythology was also included. The 9070 XT outperformed the 7900 XTX, demonstrating that RDNA 4 is better suited for ray tracing. I didn't enable upscaling in Age of Mythology at 4K, and this is why there is such a big gap when comparing to the 1440p results. Keep in mind that at 4K with upscaling set to quality, the internal render resolution is 1440p, and because of that not much has changed at this resolution. I tested the overclocking potential of the 9070 XT, but I won't show the results in a chart. When editing the video, I encountered instability, so I didn't feel comfortable presenting it. Overclocking with undervolting is still in early stages for this card. Interestingly, I didn't face issues in games, but I did have problems in DaVinci Resolve. The PowerColor Red Devil 9070 XT is a great GPU that looks good, at least to me, is silent, and my unit doesn't have any coil whine. With that said, I think that the 140 euros that I paid over the MSRP is not worth it, at least from a performance point of view. To be honest, this high-end 9070 XT model should be no more than 80 USD or euros above the base model. I think that AMD has a winner if it manages to keep the price of the 9070 XT at around 150 or more USD or euros below the street price of the 5070 Ti, and let me tell you why I think this. For starters, there is no memory advantage. Actually, there is a bandwidth disadvantage as the 5070 Ti is using GDDR7. According to the online benchmarks, the 5070 Ti barely wins when it comes to pure raster performance, but it has better ray tracing results. I didn't focus on FSR4 because I didn't see a big difference or a difference when compared to DLSS 4, but I'm not big on upscaling. Another important thing is that the 5070 Ti is better suited for productivity work, a thing that AMD needs to work on. Some people are producing money with these GPUs, and AMD is not widely competitive in this regard. For example, I use DaVinci Resolve, and the 5080 is way more responsive and faster when editing and encoding. Other people mention that Blender is not suited for AMD GPUs, which I don't use. Additionally, at launch, the 9070 XT didn't have PRO M support for AI workloads, a feature AMD needs to address sooner rather than later. And that's it for this video. If you liked the video, click the thumbs up button, consider subscribing to the channel, and let me know in the comment section below what price difference would make you choose the 9070 XT over the 5070 Ti. Take care and hope to see you all in the next one.